Hi, and welcome. My name is Stephen Schnell, and I'm the Executive Director here at the Science Zone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Your Daily Dose of Science. On today's episode, we're going to have a little bit of fun with dry ice. That's right, dry ice. What is it exactly? Well, dry ice is frozen carbon dioxide gas. Now, when we all breathe out, we breathe out carbon dioxide. When we breathe in air, which contains, among other things, oxygen and nitrogen. Now, carbon dioxide, or CO2, as it's regularly known as, is negative 109.3 degrees Fahrenheit. It's pretty cold. So, one of the most interesting things about dry ice is that it does something called sublimation. So sublimation is when you take a substance and you skip a phase in the process. So our phases are solid, liquid, and a gas. Now in the form of water, that takes shape as steam for gas. As you can see here from our little electric kettle, we've got a lot of steam coming out of it right now. So a solid, like this table, is very similar to ice. So ice is solid water. And here we have some water. Add a little bit of color so you can see it a little bit better. But essentially, dry ice skips this middle step. So we're going to remove it. So through this process of sublimation, we go from a solid straight on over to a gas, like magic. So today, we're going to have a little bit of fun doing exactly that, playing with that sublimation. So, let's do some demonstrations, shall we? Well, for the very first one, let's bring out our dry ice, which is right here. Now, when we're doing things with dry ice, we want to make sure we have proper PPE, or personal protective equipment. We have our safety glasses, and we've got our safety gloves. So these ones, they are insulated and a little bit bigger to, I think, make you look like a superhero. I think fighting crime sounds about pretty good right now, but don't you worry about that. We're gonna do some science. So the first thing I'd like to do is we'll take this graduated cylinder right here, and we're going to take a little bit of this dry ice out. And here's a nice little chunk. So I can hold it safely with these gloves because, again, they are insulated. You wouldn't want to do this with your bare hands because you would get some ice burns pretty bad. So we'll go ahead and drop that in right there. And so now, if you can barely see it, it's starting to smoke and to steam and let off that carbon dioxide gas. But if we go ahead and take our little electric kettle here, add a little bit of water to our flask. So, now that we have some water in our Erlenmeyer flask, we're going to go ahead and pour some in there. And now, that looks pretty cool, right? So we have a bit of sublimation going on right now. As you can see, and here, it's bubbling pretty furiously. So the bubbles are all of that gas escaping. So that right there is sublimation at work. And so, what else can we do with dry ice? Well, what if we take this same basic experience here, and we take a little bit of Dawn dish soap. We'll go ahead and pour some of that in there. Okay, now what do you think is going to happen? Well, first off, we made green, which is always fun, and now we have bubbles! So, a bunch of little soap bubbles is what the doctor ordered, I think. So now I'm going to be making a mess here of my table. No big deal, I'll clean it up. So, science is messy. So we have a bunch of foam here. We got to add a little more warm water, speed this thing up. All right, now it's really moving. So next, while we let this do its thing, we're going to do something called boo bubbles. So this I may need a moment to set up for. But essentially, it's the same concept, but what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that that dry ice comes out of a tube. And from that tube, we can direct it and make bubbles. So we'll attach our fitting here while that thing continues to make a mess of our table. No big deal. All right. Nice big chunk dry ice there. Okay. All right. Where'd I go? Oh no! Just kidding. Still here. And now we have all of that dry ice directed right out of that little tube. And then we can put it through another tube and direct it even further. So now, if we take some of our water and our Dawn dish soap, we might be able to make some bubbles. All right. There we go. There's a big one. Woohoo! All right. So, next what we'll try is adding a little bit of soap to the inside of here. And see if that helps us make the bubbles any better. Okay. So, we have just made a whole ton of bubbles, which I think is a good day. Any day you make a bunch of bubbles is a good day for me. So, ooh, here comes a big one. Woo! All right, so one of the things we're going to do next is we're going to do something that I would like none of you to try at home. With all the gas that's escaping from dry ice, it can fill a volume of a container pretty rapidly. And if you have the cage that's behind me, you can actually make a wee bit of an explosion and throw ping pong balls all over the place, which is what we're gonna do next. All right, well, join me in just a moment over at the net. Hey folks, welcome back. So, we're in our drone course down here at the Science Zone, and it happens to be the perfect place to make a ping pong ball explosion without getting those ping pong balls too far away from where we want to pick them up. So, that way everything is protected, and I will be standing behind this net on the other side. A-okay, but I am still going to take a few extra safety precautions. First off, I'm going to go ahead and go pull out the big guns with these goggles, make sure my entire eyes are all covered. I'm going to go ahead and put on some ear protection, and now I can't hear a thing I'm saying, but we want to make sure that when that boom happens that I don't damage my ears. I'll of course be wearing those pretty nice and insulated gloves that we used for the dry ice. And you know, I found this hard hat in the back, and I figured I just kind of like the orange and the green. So I figure you can't be too safe. So, well, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we set this barrel of laughs up for a ping pong ball explosion. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Your Daily Dose of Science. Don't worry, I'll clean up here, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks, and have a great day. Stay curious out there.